Most men over 60 have no idea that the way they're drinking water every day could be silently weakening their erections, lowering their testosterone, and draining their energy. It sounds unbelievable, but the truth is a simple glass of water, when used the right way, can transform your sexual health. And if you've been struggling with softness, performance anxiety, or just missing that spark you once had, this might be the missing link no one ever told you about. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara, a board-certified urologist and men's health expert with over 30 years of experience. I've treated thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and I'm here to tell you that age isn't the enemy. Neglecting the small things is, because most of what we blame on aging actually comes from habits that can be changed. What if the very thing you've been drinking your whole life, water, could be sabotaging your erections simply because you're drinking it the wrong way? And what if just a few adjustments in how and when you hydrate could boost your circulation, raise your testosterone naturally, and restore the confidence you thought was gone for good? In this video, I'll show you exactly how water, yes, water, can become the most powerful natural tool you have for improving blood flow, hormone health, and erection strength. And later, I'll reveal a simple 7-second habit that, when paired with proper hydration, can dramatically enhance your performance. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another life-changing health tip made specifically for men over 60. And if you find this helpful, type 1 in the comments. If it didn't quite hit the mark, type 0. Your feedback helps me make this content better for you. All right. Now, let's get to the heart of it, because the very first thing we need to talk about is blood flow. You see, an erection isn't just about desire or mood, it's a physical process, a hydraulic response. And none of it works without proper circulation. What most older men don't realize is that your blood is mostly water. And when you're not hydrated the right way, it becomes thicker, slower, and harder to move. That's where the trouble begins. 1. Erections are about blood flow, and water is blood's best friend. I'll never forget the day one of my patients, let's call him Jim, 68 years old, former high school coach, sat in my office, eyes down, voice low. He told me, "Doc, it's not working the way it used to." He was talking about his erection, of course. He assumed it was just aging, but after a few questions, I asked him one simple thing. "How much water do you drink a day?" He laughed. "Not much, maybe a coffee in the morning and a soda at lunch." Jim isn't alone. Most men past 60 underestimate the importance of water, yet it's the very foundation of blood flow. And here's the truth. An erection is all about circulation. It's your body's hydraulic response. Blood flows into the chambers of the penis, pressure builds, and firmness happens. But that can't happen without blood that moves freely, and your blood is more than 90% water. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes thick and sluggish. That forces your heart to work harder just to circulate it. And it makes it much harder for blood to reach the most vital areas, like your penis. Even mild dehydration can reduce blood volume and weaken the quality of your erection without you even realizing it. When Jim began a proper hydration routine, small, consistent sips throughout the day, he came back 2 weeks later with a smile on his face. "I don't know what changed, but something's working again," he said. And the only thing we changed was water. So, before blaming your age or your testosterone levels, ask yourself this: are you really hydrated? Because sometimes the fix isn't in a pill, it's in your glass. Now, if blood flow is step 1, what if I told you dehydration is also draining the very hormone that makes you a man? Let's talk about that. If you're still watching and these insights are making sense, drop a number 1 in the comments to let me know you're here and this is helping you. Now, let's keep going, because what I'm about to share next might surprise you even more. 2. Dehydration doesn't just dry out your skin, it lowers your testosterone. I once had a patient named Walter, 72, widowed, and fiercely independent. He came to me not because of any obvious health crisis, but because, in his words, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." He wasn't depressed, he wasn't sick, but something was off. His energy was low, his desire had faded, even his mood felt flat. As we spoke, I could sense the quiet frustration in his voice. The silent question behind his words, am I losing my edge for good? When we ran his labs, one thing stood out. His testosterone was below average for his age. Not alarmingly low, but enough to explain the way he felt. And what shocked him most wasn't the number, it was the reason. Walter was severely dehydrated. No chronic disease, no medication side effects, just simple, long-term dehydration. Here's what happens. When your body is dehydrated, it shifts into survival mode. It prioritizes blood pressure, temperature regulation, and essential functions. Reproduction, libido, not urgent. So your testosterone takes a hit. And there's another layer. Dehydration raises your cortisol, the stress hormone, and cortisol is testosterone's worst enemy. When one rises, the other falls. It's a biological tug of war, and your masculinity gets caught in the middle. Walter made just one change. He started drinking water consistently, correctly, and with intention. And a month later, he didn't just feel better, he felt alive again. That spark in his eyes, it was back. So, if you've been feeling tired, unfocused, or just not in the mood, don't be too quick to blame aging. It might be your body's way of crying out for something as simple as hydration. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Even if you're drinking water, if you're doing it the wrong way, you might still be sabotaging your sexual health. Let me show you what most men get completely wrong. 3. Drink water the right way, not the way most men do. Let me be honest with you. When I first started telling older men that how they drink water affects their erections, most of them looked at me like I was crazy. One gentleman in his late 60s, Mike, a retired truck driver, actually chuckled and said, "Doc, it's water." What am I supposed to do, bless it first? I smiled and said, "No, Mike. But you are supposed to respect it. Because here's the thing. Most men, especially as they age, wait until they feel thirsty. Then they gulp down a full bottle of cold water in one go and think they're doing their body a favor. But that's not how your body works. It doesn't want sudden floods, it wants steady support. Your system can only absorb a small amount of water at a time. Sipping slowly throughout the day helps maintain blood volume, nutrient delivery, and hormone balance. Sitting down while drinking relaxes your nervous system, promoting better absorption. Even letting water mix with saliva before swallowing improves how your body processes it. It's a small Ayurvedic practice that modern science now backs up. And here's another one. Temperature matters. Ice-cold water may feel refreshing, but it can constrict blood vessels and slow digestion. Both of which you don't want if you're aiming for better circulation to the parts of your body that matter most. Room temperature or warm water is gentler and more effective for long-term health. After Mike followed these changes for just a couple of weeks, sipping slowly, sitting down, watching his timing, he told me something that stuck with me. "Doc, I never thought water could make me feel strong again." It's not about drinking more. It's about drinking smarter. But even smart hydration can be undone by the wrong habits. And there are a few hidden mistakes that silently cancel out everything you're trying to fix. Let's take a closer look. 4. Don't cancel out good habits with these mistakes. There's something frustrating about doing the right thing, only to find out you've been canceling it out without even realizing it. That's exactly what happened with a man named Harold, 74. A retired pilot who'd proudly told me he'd been following my hydration advice to the letter. He was sipping water regularly, sitting down while drinking, even switching to room temperature water. But after a few weeks, he came back and said, "Doc, I feel a bit better, but not as much as I hoped." So we took a closer look at the rest of his routine, and that's when we found the problem. Every morning, Harold drank coffee, then another later in the afternoon. He had a glass of wine most evenings, and after eating a slice of watermelon or a juicy orange, he'd top it off with a big glass of water. All of it seemed harmless, but each of these little things was working against him. Caffeine and alcohol are diuretics. They pull water out of your system and leave you more dehydrated. And drinking water right after water-rich fruits like oranges or melons, that can dilute your digestive enzymes, slow down absorption, and even cause bloating, which affects how well your body uses the water you're giving it. Even something as simple as drinking too much water too quickly, what we call overhydration, can flush out vital minerals like magnesium and sodium, both of which are essential for nerve function, muscle contractions, and yes, sexual response. Harold made a few small changes, and within days, things clicked into place. Now I feel it, he told me. Like my body's actually working with me again. But that's just one part of the puzzle. Because when you drink water the right way and avoid these mistakes, something amazing happens inside your body. And science can now prove it. Let me show you 5 the science-backed benefits of proper hydration for sexual health. One of the most satisfying parts of my work is seeing science confirm what we've known deep down all along. That when your body is properly cared for, it responds. I remember sitting with a patient named Carl, 70 years old, soft-spoken and thoughtful. He had spent years assuming his fading sex life was just part of getting older. No big deal, he told himself. Until one day his wife gently asked, "Are you okay? You haven't seemed like yourself lately." That was the moment he knew it wasn't just about sex. It was about feeling alive again. We reviewed his habits, and hydration came up again and again, so he committed. He followed the routine, no pills, no procedures, just water the right way day after day. And after 6 weeks, his results weren't just noticeable, they were measurable. Firmer erections, better energy, even improved blood pressure, and clearer skin. That's not just coincidence. Studies show that hydration affects nearly every function related to sexual health. Thinner blood means better circulation. Healthy blood volume supports strong and lasting erections. Adequate hydration keeps your organs, especially your liver and kidneys, working efficiently, so they can regulate your hormones like testosterone. And even your mood lifts because your brain works better when you're hydrated. You feel sharper, calmer, more confident. Carl's story isn't rare. It's happening to men everywhere who are finally realizing that real health doesn't always come in a bottle or a box. It often comes in the form of consistent, simple care. But here's the thing. Hydration doesn't exist in a vacuum. As you age, even the best habits need more support. Your body changes, your recovery slows. So why does water matter even more after 60? You're about to find out. Why this matters more as you age, there's something no one tells you about getting older, not your doctor, not your friends, and certainly not the ads selling you quick fixes. It's this: your body becomes less forgiving. What you could get away with at 30 or 40, skipping water, staying up late, eating poorly, starts to catch up with you after 60. And it's not just about wrinkles or gray hair, it's about energy, mood, and intimacy. It's about waking up and not recognizing the man in the mirror. I remember a patient, Frank, 67, who told me he felt like someone had quietly turned down the volume on his life. He wasn't in pain, he wasn't ill, he just didn't feel fully present anymore. The spark was missing. We talked through everything: his sleep, his food, his exercise, and then we came back to something simple: hydration. Like many men his age, he had no idea how much harder his body had to work just to stay balanced. How something as basic as water now had a much bigger impact on his circulation, hormones, and mental clarity. After just a few weeks of mindful hydration, spaced out, room temperature, no more chugging cold water on the go, Frank felt the difference. His morning energy came back, his thoughts felt clearer, and yes, his bedroom confidence returned. He told me, "Doc, I didn't realize how far I'd drifted until I finally came back to myself." That's the power of giving your body what it actually needs, especially as time moves on. And the best part, you don't need a prescription for any of it. But if you really want to take your results to the next level, there's one more piece of the puzzle. It only takes 7 seconds a day, and it has everything to do with your body's natural performance switch. Let me show you what it is. 7. Combine this with a 7-second morning trick. There's something powerful about the quiet hours of the morning. It's when your body resets, your hormones recalibrate, and your brain gets ready to face the day. Over the years, I've found that what a man does in those first few minutes after waking can set the tone for everything. Energy, focus, even intimacy. One of my longtime patients, Greg 71, had been doing everything right. Hydrating properly, eating clean, walking daily. His progress was steady but still missing that extra spark. So I gave him something simple, a 7-second morning routine, no pills, no stretching. Just a specific breathing movement that naturally boosts nitric oxide levels. This molecule is like your body's switch for blood flow. It relaxes blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely, especially where it counts most for a man. Greg was skeptical, but he trusted me. Within 2 weeks, he said, "Doc, it's like someone turned the lights back on." His energy felt sharper. His erections were firmer and more responsive, and he told me he hadn't felt that confident in years. Not because of some expensive gadget, but because of a simple, intentional habit. When you combine the 7-second nitric oxide boost with proper hydration, it's like giving your body permission to perform again. It's not magic, it's biology finally working the way it's supposed to. And once your body remembers how good that feels, it starts to crave more of it. So, yes, water matters. Yes, habits matter, but it's the small, consistent actions stacked together that unlock real transformation. And if you're ready to apply all of this starting today, let me show you exactly how with a clear, simple hydration routine that fits perfectly into your life no matter your age or health level. Let's make it practical. 8. Your daily hydration routine for stronger erections. One of the most common questions I get from men after 60 is, "Doc, just tell me what to do, step by step." And I get it. You don't want vague advice, you want a clear routine that fits into your life and actually works. That's why I created this daily hydration rhythm, not just based on science, but from what I've seen change real lives and real men. Let me tell you about Richard, 66, a retired firefighter. After years of burning the candle at both ends, he came to me feeling tired, foggy, and frustrated in the bedroom. He didn't want gimmicks, he wanted something that made sense. I told him, "Let's rebuild your foundation with water." He committed to the routine. And what happened over the next month shocked even him. He started each day with a full glass of room temperature water within 30 minutes of waking. Mid-morning, he drank another glass with just a pinch of sea salt to replenish essential minerals. Around lunchtime, he had 2 more slow, steady sips while sitting down. In the evening, 1 or 2 more, stopping at least an hour before bed so he could sleep soundly and support his nighttime hormone cycles. No cold water, no chugging, no distractions, just simple presence with each glass. Within weeks, his energy returned, his thinking sharpened, and most importantly, his body responded when he needed it to. He told me, "I feel like I've gotten something back I didn't even realize I lost." That's the power of consistent hydration done. Right. And when paired with smarter habits, it becomes one of the most natural performance tools a man can use at any age. Now that you've seen how hydration can transform your sexual health, let me leave you with one final message. It's not just about erections, it's about reclaiming your power, your confidence, and the man you were always meant to be. Conclusion: stay hydrated, stay strong. I've spent over 3 decades sitting across from men just like you, good men, strong men, who thought their best years were behind them. But time and again, I've seen how small changes bring powerful results. We've talked about how hydration supports blood flow, boosts testosterone, clears brain fog, and even revives desire. We've looked at common mistakes, better timing, and a simple 7-second trick that can shift your biology back in your favor. And through every story, whether it was Jim, Frank, Greg, or Richard, one truth kept rising to the surface: your body wants to work. It just needs the right conditions, and water, something so simple and overlooked, is one of the keys. You don't need to feel stuck. You don't need to accept decline as your destiny. Every sip you take is a step toward clarity, vitality, and intimacy. You still have time, you still have strength, you just need to claim it, one glass at a time. So start today. Stay hydrated, stay consistent, and most importantly, stay strong.